Hello, this is the new Caribou, the Honorable Sir David, Emperor of Salt Lake City, Sultan of Utah, spiritual advisor to questioning Mormons, and the Bard extraordinaire. Okay, enough of that silliness. I've had a couple of comments on my video on masturbation, and anytime my ratings go down, I come up with sex or masturbation, and they just go all over again. So I'm starting to become kind of a manipulator. But that's what my wives have told me my whole life. Maybe I'm just seeing it now. Anyway, I love it when you disagree with me. You have every right to disagree. I'm not always right, just most of the time. But I understand that when I go into these social issues that I'm crossing different cultures, different value systems, and different people who have been raised and believe differently than I do, and I respect that 100%. You don't have to believe anything that I say. Just most. No. Listen, I really enjoy looking at comments, reasonable comments. Now, the one guy that wrote in and said, "Suck my genitalia," I'm not sure what to do with that comment. He has the wrong bard. he's barking up the wrong bard tree. But anyway, please, my goal and my intent is to cause you to think. It's caused me to think, and it's caused me to move and shift some of my ideas as I've gotten older. There's some things I used to believe, like the Mormon Church, and as I've got older, I go, that's Santa Claus. I don't believe in that. So please feel free to write in and say whatever you want to say, even suck my genitalia, I don't care. And I respect other people's opinions, and I certainly weigh other people's opinion. And if there's new information and new evidence, then I'm going to shift. I'm going to say, I've changed my mind on that. Now, let me be as clear as I can that hopefully some of you that have written in and have said, and I understand, now we're talking principle. We're not talking exact numbers. And of course, as soon as I say that, the Mormons their brain in their head falls off. Those of you that are serious and well educated, and most of my audience is, we're talking about a principle. If you have a human need, hunger, thirst, going to the bathroom, breathing, and I'm going to include in it sexuality. Now, some of you won't. Some of you won't. But I've studied psychology, and it appears that sexuality is not as daily. You have to breathe every couple of minutes or you're going to die. If you don't have sex every couple of minutes, you ain't going to die. And I know some of you don't have sex for years. You should have been dead, but you're not. So anyway, what I'm saying is sexuality is a need. And some people can go much longer than other people. And I hope you respect that just because you feel a certain way or extrapolate your sexual tendencies over the population. That's not fair. You're different, I'm different, everyone is different. Now, when you cut off, I don't like to use that word when I'm doing these videos. Let me back up. I'm sick. My meds are starting to wear off. It's evening now. When you block sexual activity to normal human beings, you are building up. You're building up a resistance that you're not going to win. It's like waterboarding somebody. They're going to continue to try to suck air. And it's like a hungry person. They will go into a store and steal food. And it is the lesser part of the human experience is that when someone takes away our food, our housing, our safety, our sexuality, water, etc., we will eventually lash out. Now that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, and I guess I'm hitting around when women cut men off in a marriage, are they pushing men towards molesting their daughters or molesting other little girls because the sexual outlet still has to be done. I believe that, and some of you I respect. You don't believe that, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But the principle I'm talking about is that if you don't feed a person water, they're only going to go 5 or 6 or 7 days. And if there's a gun in the room and a glass of water that you're blocking them from drinking, they'll shoot you. They'll shoot you. The desire to live in the human body is much stronger than any morality in the world. And I have a video way back about when I stole a little kid's lunch when I was driving school bus. I stole a kindergartner's lunch that he left in the bus because I was hungry. I'd never been hungry before. I was shocked. I was shocked that, as honest as I am, I would go back and eat a little boy's lunch. And I felt guilty about it now for 20 years. If that kid finds me, he'll kick my ass. That's why. He could be a Danite. I don't know. So, I'm not putting, and I said this in my other video, if you'll remember, I said I'd put 70% responsibility on wives that cut off their husband, or block their husband's sexuality. That's going to come out somewhere. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. That's fine. David Petraeus proved my point. And others. President Clinton. Monica Lewinsky. What a cutie. She had talents of her own. And that was embarrassing to his wife and to Hillary. Here he is president, and he gets on national TV like Nixon did, and goes, "I'm not a crook." And he goes, "I didn't have sex with that woman. How my sperm got on her dress, I just don't know. It's the virgin sperm dress. I don't know." So that's my point. It's a principle that if you take away natural human needs, they're going to come out somewhere. They're going to come out, whether it's anger, whether it's murder, whether it's rape, whether it's child molestation, stealing food. My experience and my education tells me that. Now, here's the other point I wanted to make. And a lot of you are going to disagree with me. Half my demographics are very close. There's about 50% women and 50% men who watch me. And I don't know which one throws the most arrows at the monitor. I can't tell that. But be that as it may. I was an alcoholic addiction counselor for, Wheeler Clinic. I was there about a year. And Veneta, Oklahoma. I was there about 2 years. And then I did residential treatment, and that certainly crossed some alcoholism and drug addiction. So I have some professional experience with addiction. And I was addicted to prescription drugs one time years ago. I don't know, 25, 30, maybe more, 40 years ago. You know, I could down 10 Valium in an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that would put most of you in a coma. But I was heavily addicted to it, and I shopped doctors. I went from different doctors. In those days, they didn't track us. And we could have 2 or 3 doctors and get 30 number 10s, the blue ones. And man, I just take those down like candy, and went to work and drove and etc. In those days, you couldn't get arrested for DUI. These days, you can. And I'm speaking from experience. If you're on too many drugs, even if they're prescription drugs, and you become an impaired driver, your ass is grass, and the police are the lawnmowers. So anyway, I know what an addiction, now of course this is my experience and it's my education and my training. You may have an entirely different opinion, and entirely you've had a grandma or a dad, and you have your own way of looking at this. I respect that. I respect that, and I'm not saying my way is the only way. I'm just saying it's the best way. I always like to screw with you. Anyway, here's the definition of addiction that I finally have accepted. And I haven't changed. I haven't changed. I've held this definition of an addiction most of my adult life because I've worked with drunk people and alcoholic people and addicted people. Now, here's my definition, and the definition that most professional people use. You are addicted to something if it interferes, only if it interferes with your life. Now, a person can drink and drink and drink. As long as they go to work, they don't beat up their wife and their kids, they never have a DUI ticket, and they binge on Friday or Saturday night, but they're there for work and they've been there going 35, 40 years, that's not an addiction. Now, they could get cirrhosis of the liver, you know, that's a possibility, but it's not an addiction. That's a symptom of an addiction. Now, there's other people that maybe I'm one of them, because as a Mormon I never drank, and so my body goes, hell, that's alcohol? Oh, God. I just go to sleep. I take a glass of wine and I'm gone. I'm just sound asleep. And my family's always getting me a glass of wine. No, I'm just shitting you again. Anyway, if it doesn't interfere with your life, if you're not being arrested and you're holding down a full-time job and you're married and you're doing the dishes and helping out around the house and you're doing homework with the kids and things like that, that's not an addiction. It doesn't matter how much you drink or how much you drug. Okay? I took prescription drugs and I was addicted to prescription drugs for many years before it showed up. It did not interfere with my life. I went to work. I didn't have sick time. I didn't call in sick. I wasn't in jail. I didn't have tickets and driving things. It was not interfering with my life. As soon as I began to be suicidal and attempted a couple of suicides, it clicked. You're addicted. It is now interfering with your life. And I got counseling, and my family's beat me up regularly. And the Mormon church made me feel like dog shit because I was a Mormon, and etc., etc. So, I'm not addicted to Valium now. Basically, I'll take 4 or 5 a day. I don't take 10. Shit. What's wrong with me? Come on, you people, you're normal. You're normal. You could say, David, you're an asshat. That's your problem. David, you're a liar. I don't know what my problem is. The point that I'm making is I haven't really seen too many people addicted to pornography. Now, it doesn't matter how often you look at pornography. Now, it certainly matters if you're looking at pornography of people that are under 18 and they have not consented, or they're not old enough to consent, then you've got a serious problem that you're probably going to end up in jail with and for. There's certain things each one of us are different on. Women with horses, and they're not riding the horse. Hey, that's out of my boundaries right there. Okay, so I'm not going to go into my entire sexual boundaries, but I'm saying if a person, a man or a woman, is looking at pornography to become sexually excited and then has an orgasm, that's not an addiction. Now, if you sit in the monitor screen, or at the monitor screen 16 hours a day and you don't go to work, and anyone that comes in your house, you're just masturbating everywhere, and it doesn't matter who sees you, and you fall on the couch sound asleep and get up and start masturbating again. Okay, that's an addiction. That needs a counselor. And Lorena Babbitt is the name of the counseling agency that you ought to get with. So I'm just telling you from my experience and from my professional training that if sexual activities such as masturbation interferes with the normal ability of your life, that you don't eat, you don't go to the bathroom, you never take a bath, and you just walk around with a 55-gallon barrel of Vaseline dragging on wheels behind you, that's probably going to be a problem. So go to a counselor and leave the 55-gallon barrel in the car. If it doesn't interfere with normal activities, then it is not an addiction. Now, I know where 50% of my population is going to go right now, my females. The females will say, it does interfere with your life because it upsets me. Well, you could argue both ways about that. Is it interfering with your life? No. Is it interfering with her life? That may be a problem. And I've learned something. I've learned something. And I'm not one to learn very much or very easily. But here is my saying. Happy wife. Happy life. So it may not be interfering at all with the real world. But if you have a wife that is terribly jealous or has been trained in the Mormon church that this is, adultery, or that it's fornication, or that you're sick puppy, now it's interfering with your marriage. That may not be your fault at all. It could be a man or a woman. You know, when I have to continue to buy batteries, I don't like to buy those Duracells. And it's starting to interfere with her life. Anyway, I don't know what weight. I honestly don't. I don't know what weight to put on. Is it an addiction? And is it interfering with your life if your partner is going bullshit? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I'll share some personal experience with you because I'm gonna be dead. No one will know. I have found that there are some women, and there's more than you think. Now, when you go and marry a BYU girl, you're gonna get a stamped cookie cutter woman, and she's gonna think like 10,000 or a half a million other women. And they've been taught since childhood what the real world, the real bubble world that they live in, and what the rules are. Now, there are many wives who go, I don't care. Go upstairs, go downstairs, go in the bathroom, go look at a magazine or look on the computer, and when you're done, wash your hands. They go, I don't care. Those are good wives. Not that I know. Not that I know. This is not personal experience, okay? It's just things I've read. You know I don't lie to you much. Anyway, the women that think that this is betrayal and adultery and fornication, I'm not going to argue that. I'm just not. Those are certain women, and that's the way they believe, and that's the way they think, and they're in charge of your weenie. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sneak around? Sneak outside to the library and grab a 4-year-old? What are you going to do? Go on a camping trip with the scouts and everybody does a circle jerk? What are you going to do? And for those of you that don't believe what I'm saying, and I respect it, I think you're stupid shits. No, I don't. If you blocks human sexuality, it's going to come out. Now, there are many people who the wife will look at pornography, maybe with the husband. There are many people that the wife has different pornography. And again, I'm not going to go into personal experiences, but I had a wife. No. I know a man whose cousin's wife said that she had a friend. See, there's the Mormon lead-in. I've forgotten. But there was this friend reported some strange pornography. That was just her choice. That was just the way she was. That's what excited her. And a lot of times, now here's what I'm going to say that is going to piss my women off. I know it will, but I'm going to tell you the damn truth. Okay? Here's the truth. If your husband goes in on the computer, or that's what I'm using. That's not what I'm using. No, I'm using the computer idea to make my point. I'm not using the computer. Which hand do you swear with? I swear with my mouth. Anyway, when a man who is very visual, all men are extremely visual, and that's why they're always curious to see another woman naked, or compare her boobs, or compare her vagina, or whatever. And every girl in the world, when she has sex, she's totally different than any other girl. No two girls have sex the same way. You know, even when they scream, some of them scream much louder than others. Now that's personal experience. But anyway, ladies, how do you know when he's having sex with you that he's not running through his mind his old girlfriend in high school, or the girl he just saw at the dentist office, or the one he was standing in line at the grocery store? How do you know that he's really having sex with you? Now here's another important point. Men get married to engage in sex, and it's not the ability of the woman that attracts them to sex. It's the availability. Shit. If it's always there 24/7, that's better than hanging from a trapeze with an 18-year-old in Las Vegas once, and now you're in jail for the rest of your life and your wife divorces you. So wouldn't it be better, and I'm just arguing this, I'm just arguing it, and you know which way I lean, wouldn't it be better to allow him or her in the relationship to look at whatever they want? Give them their free agency. But as long as they're making love with you, and they're treating you well, and supporting you, and taking care of the children, isn't that what's important? Isn't that what's important? And you girls that want to control, and you've got that ring on your finger, and it's eternal marriage. You own his penis, and it will work when you say you're off for today, you're off. Now, I'm just giving you my opinion. In a marriage, she owns her own vagina, and you own your own penis. And you shouldn't be in charge of anybody else's sexuality. That's not true free agency. I'm sorry. It's not true free agency. If she wants to go off and do this, or you go in the room and you've got a vibrator in there that's as big as a moose, hey, that's what she wants. That's what she wants. As long as she gets in bed with you every night, and she may put a bag on your head, that doesn't matter. We have a regular bag in our bed, and she puts it on to me every night. And if you are going to work every day, and you're coming home and you're sharing your money and babysitting the kids, and vice versa, she's cooking you a meal here and there, and that she's fun to talk to, God, if the relationship is working, why do you care? Why do you care about somebody else's genitalia? Is that what you married for, time and eternity? Is that why you all went to the temple and said, I want to get screwed. That's the most important thing in my life. Get me in so I can jump in bed and just hump and hump. Hey, if that's you, that's you. My standards are higher. My standards are higher, and I've said this many times to many wives. If you can find someone as a better husband that will love you more, that will protect your children more, that is more humorous, and more of a companion, for God's sakes, go get them. I'm not going to stand in your way 1 second. I will write off the divorce. I'll say, hey, you found someone better, go for it. Now, I'm not going to tell you how many of the 6 took me up on that. None of them. I divorced every one of them. They didn't divorce me. But I'm not sure what that means. They were so weak that they just said, fine, I've been thrashed around for years and years, just do what you want to do. I don't know why. But none of them divorced me, and I divorced every one of them. And I think a lot of that was the Mormon church. I expected a perfect wife, and when I found out that the 5 of them weren't perfect, I told them, you know where the door is. And my 6th one, I'm not going to go into that because I think she's listening through the window. I have no window here in Australia, and damn, 3 feet of snow on the Australian plain, the kangaroos are all stuck in the snow out there. They're just jumping around like bushes that have snow on them. And the kids are down in the little pouch going, shit, Mom, where's this white stuff coming from? So, summary. Let your partner have free agency. And you know, if your partner wants to dance up or dress up in a cowboy outfit, or a girl wants to be Spider-Woman, and the crotch is cut out of her her thighs, her tights. I knew they were two T's, out of her tights. And you want to scream and yell, and you want to play weird music or light incense or whatever whatever your mind wants. And that's a real marriage. That's not to me, not to you guys. It may not be. You may go, fuck, I'm not going to turn this guy off. He's an idiot. But I have found that you give each other 100% free agency, and that you're kind and you're understanding that every human being is different. And I have no right to demand what my wife does with her vagina, and she has no right to request what I do with mine. So this has made a good marriage for us. We're happy that way. Many of you may not be. Many of you may say, you know, this guy's sick. And that's not even debatable. We all know that. I told you I'm bipolar. How can I defend that? When you take me to court, the judge will say, well, have you ever admitted you're bipolar? And I said, yeah, about 630 times. I've got a video each time. So, I respect you when you disagree with me, and please feel like you can write in and say anything you want, even suck my genitalia. You have a right to that. And I never erase anything unless somebody writes in to try to make money out of some kind of a project they have going on. This program takes no money, this program makes no money, and this program is done only for certain reasons. One, I hate the Mormon Church. Two, I'm a mean, vicious, evil person. The one Mormon wrote to me a couple days ago and says, you're going straight to hell. And you know what's really funny? Here's what's really funny. When religious people try to scare atheists, I don't believe in a hell. And if there is one, I'll go there and make videos. I don't care. I'll try to get in charge. I'll try to get, a good job with the satanic group. We don't scare. You religious people can scare each other, but you can't scare an atheist. We don't care. So I do these for my own therapy, and some people write to me and say, you've helped me into a mental institution, into a divorce, into a suicide. So as long as I'm helping you, I'm going to be here. And I have no sound on my computer, and I know that's the Danites, and I know that that's Satan, and I'm kicking against the pricks. But you can hear me. I can't hear myself, and I like to listen to my own videos after. I do. I don't know. I'm just narcissistic. I just enjoy. I go, that guy's funny. And then I realize it's me. So anyway, free agency, and feel free to voice your opinion. Please disagree with me. I'm not the Mormon Church. Okay? I'm a person that respects every human being, and they have a right to express themselves and a right to dignity and not be made fun of. Or to made fool of because their opinion is different than the majority or even the minority. So hopefully I've been fair on this, and hopefully I can influence the Mormons to quit having sexual relationships with children. I don't think Monson has ever said that to their face. Look at your camera and your screen. I am telling you Mormon men, some of you women, there's boundaries. Your children, your grandchildren, any children under 18 years old in the United States, mentally retarded people, elderly people, are off limits. Use your weenie and your vagina in your own privacy and in your own home. No matter how horny you are, don't go out and kill the spirit of innocent people. Thanks.